Dear students, we will discuss something about effective rate of protection. The effective rate of tariff establishes a relationship between the tariff and the domestic value added. Such a rate can be a true measure of the actual rate of protection that the nominal tariff affords to the domestic import competing industries. This analysis is based on various assumptions. They are as follows. First one is there is constancy of physical input output coefficients. The primary inputs are available in fixed quantities. The primary inputs are immobile between the countries. The elasticity coefficients related to demand for all exports and supply of all imports are infinite. Trade takes place in case of all the inputs. The economic system is maintained in the state of full employment. All tariffs and other measures like taxes or subsidies are applied on a non discriminatory basis. All tradable goods continue to maintain tradable even after tariffs and other measures are adopted so that the domestic price of each importable good is given by the foreign price plus tariff. Given the above assumptions, the distinction between the nominal tariff and the effective tariff of protection can be understood through an illustration. Suppose imported special steel worth rupees 10,000 is required for producing domestically a machine. The free trade price of machine is rupees 16,000. If 25% nominal tariff is imposed on each imported machine, its price for domestic consumer will be rupees 20,000. Out of this, rupees 10,000 represent imported steel, rupees 6,000 is domestic value added, and rupees 4,000 is the tariff. Rupees 4,000 tariff obtained from each imported machine signifies a 25% nominal tariff rate because the nominal tariff is calculated on the price of the final commodity, that is 4,000 divided by 16,000 multiplied by 100 is equals to 25%. The rate of effective tariff is, however, much larger as it is calculated on the domestic value added. In this illustration, it amounted to 4,000 divided by 16,000 multiplied by 100 is equals to 66.7%. It implies that 25% nominal tariff provides 66.7% of the value of domestic processing. Thus, the effective rate of protection is 2.67 times more than that indicated by the nominal tariff. It is, in fact, effective rate of tariff protection that is significant for the domestic producers as it makes them expand domestic production of machines in competition with imported machines. From the viewpoint of consumers, on the opposite, the matter for concern only is that 25% tariff increases the price of imported machine by rupees 4,000. From the above illustration, the conclusion follows that the effective rate of protection will exceed nominal rate tariff rate whenever the imported input is admitted duty free or a lower tariff rate is imposed on imported input than on the final commodity produced with the imported input. The nominal tariff rate can be expressed through the following formula: H is equals to P1 minus P in turn divided by P, where H is the nominal tariff rate, P is the world price in the absence of tariff, and P1 is the domestic price of the final commodity including tariff. In the illustration given above, nominal tariff rate is 0.25 or 25%. Now let us discuss something about importance of effective rate of production. It is important from different angles. Let us have a glance. First one is importance for producers. While the concept of nominal rate of tariff is important from the point of view of the consumers because of their concern with the rise in price of the final product after tariff, the concept of effective rate of protection or tariff has significance from the viewpoint of producers also. Impact on resource allocation. It cannot be controverted that tariff structure can affect direction of resource allocation. Therefore, to discover the resource allocation effects of a tariff structure, one must calculate protective rate for each activity, that is the effective protective rate, and nature of tariff structure. The concept of effective rate of protection also sheds light upon the nature of tariff structure in a country and expansion of trade. The concept of effective rate of protection signifies that a reduction in nominal rates of tariff on the imported raw materials needed for the domestic processing seems to be a concession for the foreign country intended to expand volume of trade. Expansion of infant industries. For expansion of infant industries, this calculation of effective rate of tariff, it is very important to analyze multiple exchange system. This calculation of effective rate of tariff, it is very important. Degree of protection. The government and economists are interested in measuring the degree of protection extended to different industries. The concept of effective rate of protection has crucial importance in this respect. But this concept, effective rate of protection, no doubt has many importance, but at the same time it suffers from various limitations. Let us have a glance about various limitations of this concept. First one is faulty and restrictive assumptions. This concept is based on various faulty and restrictive assumptions. The faulty theoretical structure of this concept greatly limits the practical applicability. Second one is this concept is based on partial equilibrium analysis. A more realistic explanation of it can be made in a general equilibrium setting. Third one is difficulties in international comparison of effective rates of production. There are real problems in the exact measurement of heights of tariffs and comparison of tariff rates in one country with the other in the view of presence or absence of certain group of commodities or their varieties. It neglects indirect effects. It takes into account direct effects only, whereas this imposition of uh, tariff, this protection, has also some indirect values, those values not taken into considerations. Neglect non-traded inputs. This concept rests upon assumption that the inputs are internationally traded. In fact, some inputs are not traded. However, their values are included in the total values of inputs and output. Consequently, the measurement of effective rate of protection is rendered faulty and misallocation of resources. The tariff certainly influences allocation of resources. There is a danger that the primary or intermediate inputs flow into such industries as have the highest protective rates and away from such industries in case which the protective rates are the lowest or negative. This clearly amounts to a misallocation of resources. Despite its deficiencies, the concept of effective rate of protection has vital importance because it measures the extent to which the home market of a country is sheltered. This issue has assumed significance in international negotiations related to trade and tariff. Now let us discuss something about another concept, the theory of optimum tariff. Tariff result in gain for the tariff imposing home country in the form of improvement in the terms of trade. Once tariff is imposed, you can see improvement in terms of domestic country. At the same time, tariffs involves cost in the form of reduction in the volume of exports and imports. In other words, you can see it suppresses total volume of foreign trade. So long as the gain from tariffs is more than the cost of it, the welfare of tariffs imposing country increases and it is worthwhile for it to raise tariff. In case the cost of tariffs for the society is more than gain from tariffs, there may be reduction in the level of economic welfare and the worsening of terms of trade. In such a situation, it is appropriate for the tariff imposing country to reduce tariff. The point of optimum tariff is reached when tariff does not further increase net benefit to the given country and a level of economic welfare has become maximum. In other words, of Soderstern, a famous economist, tariff that maximizes a country's welfare is called as the optimum tariff. The point of optimum tariffs is determined where the trade indifference curve of the tariff imposing home country becomes tangent to the offer curve of the foreign country. This can be shown through the following figure. In the below figure, originally, OA is the offer curve of home country A and OB is the offer curve of foreign country B. T1, T2, T3 are the trade indifference curves of country A. Before the imposition of tariff, exchange takes place at P. This point lies on the trade indifference curve T1. As tariff is imposed, the offer curve of country A shifts to OA1 and exchange takes place at OP1. This point occurs at the higher trade indifference curve T2. Thus, tariff results in an improvement in terms of trade on the one hand and increases the level of welfare on the other. If there is a further increase in tariff, country A's offer curve shifts to OA2 and given the offer curve OB, the country B, the exchange takes place at P2. This point occurs at the higher trade indifference curve T3. P2 is the point of tangency between the trade indifference curve T3 and foreign country B's offer curve OB. Compared with the point P1, there is a further improvement in the terms of trade and increase also in the level of welfare. In case country A raises the tariff still further, its offer curve shifts to the left to OA3. Given the offer curve of country B as OB, exchange takes place now at P3. This point shows that terms of trade improve further, but this point lies on a lower trade indifference curve T2. Although the terms of trade in this situation improve, yet there is worsening in respect of the level of welfare. In such a situation, it is appropriate for the home country to reduce tariff and move back to the point P2 where the welfare is maximum. Thus, P2 is the point of optimum tariff which corresponds with the maximization of welfare. Thank you for listening.